Hey everybody, we are back from Anaheim and it's Wednesday, which means it's New Comic Book Day. Alright, so we are still reading DC's Convergence series, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little lost in places because I haven't read a whole lot of DC in the last couple of years, so I'm kind of playing catch up as I go. And I know you're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. It's not so hard to follow. You'll just kind of get a little confused on certain parts, but
if you haven't kept up with DC.
But it's really not that terribly difficult to follow.
So, since we missed our New Comic Book Day video last week because we were out of town, we had to really play catch up.
Yes.
So we read Convergence, the main arc, volumes 2 and 3. And wow, things are really starting to heat up really fast. Of course, spoiler alert, if you haven't read them yet and you don't want to be spoiled, turn off the video right now. So here we go. Okay, Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne meet.
Yes. Well, but obviously different universe, because
yes,
Bruce has to die for Thomas to become Batman, and Thomas has to die for Bruce to become Batman. So obviously different universes. But yeah, they meet.
And they have this moment, and you don't really know what they say. Dick Grayson eventually finds out what they say, but we as the readers don't. So you kind of have,
not yet.
Right? Yeah. Assuming we probably will at some point down the line, but they have hashed out some kind of plan. So the Batman maybe might get the situation under control.
Maybe.
I don't know. They've got something cooking, and of course Batman always wins. So, and that's the main thing that happened.
They come up with a plan. They get away from the main villain guy. I forget what his name is.
It's Telos / Brainiac.
Yeah, they get away from him, and Green Lantern has to kind of harvest the energy of the planet to do so, and then discovers that there's something in the center of the planet that they need to get to. So that's where the main group is. Yeah. Batman went and had his reunion with son Batman.
Dad Batman and son Batman.
And then joins up with the group and accidentally brings a whole bunch of son Batman's villains with him, so he's got to stay back and fight them.
There was another really cool thing. Gosh, it just... If you remember the Killing Joke, the Joker shot Barbara Gordon and she became paralyzed. Well, in Convergence, the Dick Grayson in one of the universes is married to Barbara Gordon, and his Barbara Gordon died. So he's out looking, he's trying to reunite with his son, oh my gosh, so much stuff happened, just a lot of backstory. His son's dead, or missing rather, his son's missing, and he's out looking for him. But the Joker, when Thomas Wayne's Batman was fleeing, the Joker followed him and had an altercation with Dick Grayson and shot Dick Grayson, and he became paralyzed from the waist down. So he's got a story now that's paralleling Barbara Gordon from The Killing Joke, and I had a total fanboy moment reading that. So I thought that was really neat, kind of an ode to Barbara / Killing Joke. Right. We read a bunch of other Convergence standalone series, whatever you want to call them. The first one was Supergirl Matrix, and this one was actually really disappointing. The story's not that great.
Good.
The art is really pretty bad. It might get interesting later. You find out this Supergirl is not really Supergirl. She's this creation
She's an
of
amoebic blob of organic matter that Lex Luthor, another universe Lex Luthor created.
Yeah.
And so,
And
it
I'm
wasn't
sure
very good.
at some point in DC's past, we got to know this Supergirl and that Lex Luthor. I'm not familiar with him, so I'm having a hard time keeping up with this one. But the story in this one just really wasn't that great. I'm not that enthused with it.
The next one we read was Adventures of Superman.
This one we have Superman and Supergirl. They intentionally enter the Phantom Zone as a way to try to escape the dome. And while they're in the Phantom Zone, the dome drops on its own.
Yes.
And so they're stuck fighting all the people that their parents had exiled to the Phantom Zone. So that's where this one kind of leaves off. And it's really exciting. I'm enjoying the Adventures of Superman.
Next one is Green Arrow.
This one was probably my favorite.
It was really good. Like, I have a soft spot for Green Arrow, but the Convergence Green Arrow is pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
he has a son. He
has a son who's also like this master archer, but is also really zen. He kind of reminds me of a Buddhist monk.
Yeah.
The dome drops after he's met his son, so now they have to kind of help each other out, and it seems like they get zapped somewhere. Like, they're in their city and they get teleported somewhere. Yeah. And they round a corner and he runs into Dina, I don't know. And another woman who calls him Dad. So another child, is it this universe's Green Arrow or their universe's Green Arrow? We don't know, but it was really interesting. So
there's going to be some family angst in this.
Next one was Catwoman.
I really enjoyed this one too.
I did too. I really liked Catwoman. I like that because money basically doesn't mean anything under the dome. She decides to fight crime because she's bored. Yeah. I kind of love it.
And she becomes the guardian of this particular area of Gotham, which, or actually not Gotham. She's in Metropolis. For some reason, she's in Metropolis, and she becomes this guardian of the specific area of Metropolis called Suicide Slum. And basically, well, if you've seen The Dark Knight Rises, it's kind of the same thing, where Gotham in Dark Knight Rises was cut off, and she became the guardian of that particular area of Gotham. It's the same thing, only it's in Metropolis. And, you know, you mess with the people who live in her area,
and she messes with you.
Yeah, you pay the price. It's this was really, really cool.
Yeah, this one has a nice overarching story where there's like this powerhouse man who comes up with the idea that once Dome comes up, he basically kidnaps all of the scientists and smart people so that if you want antibiotics or medications, you have to go to him because he is the only provider under the dome.
Right.
So he makes the mistake of kidnapping one of her people, and she goes in to get him, and that's when the dome comes down.
Yeah.
Or she goes in to get her. The scientist is a woman.
Her friend,
yes. And then the dome comes down as they're trying to escape. And the last one that we read was Wonder Woman. And so in her universe, they've basically run out of painkillers and medications under the dome. So she does like charity work and helps out people who should need those things. Like the one in this particular book is a lady with terminal brain cancer and needs painkillers, but they don't have any, so she helps her. And while she's helping her, she gets kidnapped by this church cult of fanatics who think that angels are going to break the dome down. And they subdue her and put her...
Because she doesn't have her powers, because the dome restricts superpowers.
Basically, there's a bunch of them, and they're arguing, and one sneaks up behind her and hits her across the head with a pole. So, yeah, she gets conked unconscious. And they drag her down to the basement, and then they go back up to secure the church. But the dome comes down after they conquer, the dome comes down. So they drag her to the basement and then go back up to secure this church.
And they see in the distance these winged creatures approaching. And of course they've thought this whole time that angels were going to bring the dome down. So they're like, hey, angels! So these creatures land and they approach the gate or whatever. And they're like, may we enter? And presumably they say yes because they think they're angels.
Yes, and they are all dead in the next panel, so I'm assuming they said yes. Because it is an alternate universe where Joker, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy are vampires.
Yes. And so, may we enter? Of course, vampires cannot enter unless they're invited. So
they're all slaughtered.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman comes to and breaks free of the bond because now she has her
powers back. Yeah.
And goes upstairs to help her friend and her boyfriend get the situation under control. And it kind of ends mid-fight.
Yeah. It ends with Wonder Woman kind of putting a beat down on at least Poison Ivy. We get that for sure.
Yeah.
But
she encounters Joker, but it seems like Joker has already drained her friend, so her friend's now going to become a vampire.
Yeah. So, those are most of the comics we bought this week. We actually have a bunch more that we haven't read yet. But for this video, we decided to focus on Convergence because it's such a big story.
Yeah. Now, we have not read all of the Convergence. it's a
The-
huge money
yeah.
dump, so it's hard to buy all of them.
Like there's
at once.
Green Lanterns, there's Batman and Robin,
There's Justice League,
yeah,
there's
Justice
Suicide
League,
Squad.
Justice League International.
Yeah.
All these different books that are encompassing this whole big arc. So we're focusing on the books that we enjoy the most, or the heroes that we like the most.
Yeah,
So-
we may eventually buy the other ones, but it's enough of a money dump as it is.
Yeah.
Just reading the ones that we really like.
And we just got back from Celebration,
Yeah.
so we're more or less broke as it is.
Yeah.
All right, so we really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're reading Convergence and you're enjoying it, we would love to hear about that in the comments.
If you're reading an arc that we haven't read yet and it's really, really good, put that in the comments. We might
Yeah.
want to pick that up next
Yeah.
week.
Like Aquaman or one of the other titles that we haven't looked at yet. Also, we're going to try and get back to our Saturday topic of the week. So
Yes.
please leave a suggestion for that down in the comments as well. Also, be sure to like, comment, of course, and subscribe. And yeah, that's about it. We'll see you next time. Bye.